We are live! Welcome everybody to the NXT In Your House predictions brought to you by Too Sweet Converse. I am Nico.
Steve-O here.
Wild card.
EJV.
All right, so we're doing something a little different this week. We're doing predictions videos separate, as well as a new episode of Too Sweet Converse. Both you can check out on our YouTube channel. So we're going to do a regular episode, but we're also going to be predicting this weekend's NXT In Your House pay-per-view. So we're going to be talking about that and kind of just giving you something to double the content to watch, but just more condensed and more convenient. So,
yes, and a link to the episode 7 of Too Sweet Converse will be in the description of this video if you are watching this on YouTube right now.
Absolutely. So stay tuned. But yeah, we're going to be going over all the matches, our thoughts on who's going to win, who we think should win if it applies, and then we're going to rate our overall excitement level for NXT Takeover In Your House for this weekend. So starting off, we're going to talk about a match that was just added on last night's edition of NXT. It's going to be a 3-on-3 match of Mia Yim, Tegan Nox, Shotzi Blackheart, and they're going to be taking on Candice LeRae, Dakota Kai, and Raquel Gonzalez. So who would like to start off with their thoughts on this match? If there's any.
I guess I'll go because nobody wants to at once.
Go ahead.
Great job, guys. You guys are real enthusiastic today. Anyhow, I'm gonna go with. I guess I'm gonna go with the babyface team here, which is Shotzi Blackheart, Tegan Nox, and Mia Yim. It's weird that this 6-man is being thrown together. I mean, if you watched this week's episode of NXT, you saw the brawl break out between Mia Yim and during the Mia Yim Candice LeRae one-on-one match. I was hoping that they would have done Mia Yim versus Candice LeRae one-on-one at Takeover, but it is what it is. I guess they're gonna do a 6-man tag. I'm gonna go with the baby faces, although I think the heels teams of Raquel Gonzalez, Dakota Kai, who I absolutely love, and Candice LeRae should win, but I'll go with the baby faces just because I think depending on how the women's triple threat match for the NXT Women's title goes on later in the night, I think that match is going to have maybe future number one contender implications. So we'll see.
All right. Who else would like to take this next?
I'll go ahead and take this one up. Yeah, I'm going to go with my comrade here, Nico, and say the face team, Mia Yim, Tegan Nox, and Shotzi Blackheart. Because to me, Dakota Kai and Raquel Gonzalez have had, Tegan Nox's number for a while, especially with Raquel Gonzalez's debut into NXT during their match that they had at a Takeover. And it was a brawl, it was a battle. But to me, I think this is redemption time for Yim and Yim, Nox, and Blackheart. And I feel like they're going to pull the victory out of this one. To be honest, I wasn't too sure about my excitement level on this specific match. But I got to think about it. It's gonna be really good because you got 6 of the best women in there who are out there who are going to be ready to really put on a show and stamp their name and stamp their really push their names forward in this match. And like Nico said, it's gonna probably have title implications in the near future. So, definitely going with the babyface team here on this one.
All right, wild card, your thoughts.
Okay. So I'm gonna go make it a third vote on the babyface team on this. I will say that this is actually kind of a nice match that they added. I'll be honest, I haven't really been following this storyline between the female wrestlers there, but the way I see it, it's kind of a way to showcase everybody in this newly formed women's division, especially with a lot of talent like Mia Yim, Shotzi Blackheart, and of course you got Candice LeRae, Dakota Kai, Raquel Gonzalez, Tegan Knox. Yeah, I think again, like Nico said, I agree with him on that. That has potential title implications right there. So I'm going to go with the babyface team on that.
Very nice. Yeah, I really don't have too much to add, and I'm going to kind of make it a shutout for the predictions. I'm agreeing that the babyface team will win, if nothing else, for the fact that I'm actually going to be predicting a lot of heels to win, but more on that later. Even though I'm not too high on excitement level for this match, it's rare you see a bad match on a takeover, so I think that they'll make us interested in this match, and we'll see how things do end up going. But for now, I'm just going to go with Mia Yim, Tegan Knox, and Shotzi to win this match.
Okay, so, complete shutout there.
Yes, sir. The next match is going to be with Finn Balor versus Damian Priest. Who would like to examine this one?
I'll go first. Real quick though, before we jump into this match, I realized I still had my microphone off while everyone else was talking. Dakota Kai is Bebe. All right, moving on. On to this match between Damian Priest and Finn Balor. See, I don't know, because the original plan before this pandemic hit, obviously, I believe was Finn Balor was going to go and work with Walter and feud over the NXT UK title. Okay, that would have been cool. I love that idea. Due to the fact that, Finn Balor, basically, was really going to start doing that program because of him being from Ireland, which is part of the UK. And I really would have loved to have seen a nice little program between Finn Balor and Walter. Obviously, due to this pandemic, a lot of the wrestlers that are over in the UK, like Walter, Pete Dunne, Trent Severin, Tyler Bate, just to name a few, they are not going to be over working on NXT anytime soon. There was even a report earlier this week, I believe it was by Brian Alvarez, but don't quote me on that WWE currently has no plans or an idea of what to do with their NXT UK talent at this moment due to this pandemic that we're all still dealing with. So, of course, WWE kind of had to do adjust on the fly with an audible, and they decided to do Damian Priest versus Finn Balor. I'm going to go, as much as I want Finn to win, and I'll explain why later, early on in the show, because I think it has implications towards the NXT Championship. I think maybe Damian Priest gets the win, just so he can get that little rub. And maybe that kind of forces Finn Balor to go into his demon persona to fight Damian Priest. I don't know. That's my way of thinking it. I think Finn Balor should win, but I'm going to go with Damian Priest.
Who would like to go next?
I guess I'll take the ball here.
Go for it, Wildcard.
So I gotta say that Finn moving back to NXT. This is actually just going back way back when he returned to NXT. I thought it was a really good move. I don't think many people talk about that too much. But I thought that it was really good considering how crowded the rosters were on the main side of things, Raw and SmackDown. So it was a nice change of pace. It was even better when he turned heel. I really did. I loved that he went with his, Prince rock and roll gimmick way back in his New Japan days. I thought that was pretty dope that they did that. But, since then, it just seems like there wasn't really a lot of direction with him. Like Nico said, I thought he was going to have some kind of run with maybe the NXT UK title at some point, but I don't know what happened with that. And now he's basically thrown into this match with Damian Priest. So I don't know. I kind of felt like this was almost like, okay, what are they going to do with Balor? Because it's like, okay, he's back on NXT. He should be main eventing, and yet he's in the mid card right now. So that's kind of at least my tidbit on him. But it should be a good match. I'm not going to deny the quality of the match because Damian Priest can definitely go too. But as much as I want Balor to win, I think Damian Priest is going to take this one. Just a feeling with this one.
Okay, that's fair. EJ,
Yeah.
your thoughts?
To me, this is one of the matches I'm probably actually very excited for. You know, I'm a huge fan of both guys. Damian Priest, I've known him since his days in Ring of Honor as Punishment Martinez. One of the great guys, great athleticism for a guy near 7 feet tall, 275 pounds, and then of course Finn Balor. Come on, what more can we say about him? Again, it's kind of sucky what happened with Finn and the storyline that he had with Walter now being on the back burner because of what happened with the pandemic. But now we get ourselves a really cool stylistic matchup between two guys who can go in the ring at a fast pace, or we can slow it down. And this is what they say styles make fights, and this is a style of a big guy who can go at a cruiserweight level versus a small guy who could beat any big guy on the roster, period. So to me, I feel like this match could steal the show if possible, depending on how the other matches go. But for me, I don't think Balor needs the victory. He's like Teflon right now to me. For me, I'm going to go with Damian Priest on this one. He needs his victory more than Balor does at this point.
Fair enough. I'm actually going to go against the grain and pick Balor to win to start things off. I know about Damian Priest. He's a talented individual, like EJV described. I'm also in agreement with Wildcard that, it's kind of a shame that they have such a talented superstar like Finn on NXT. And, it was a little bit of a downgrade, but, apparently Balor wanted to be on NXT. And you know what? If he puts on good matches, I was really enjoying his heel persona. In a way, I was disappointed they kind of turned him backface so soon, but I kind of get why they were trying to make him kind of a bigger name for NXT UK to get some attention. I think that him and Walter would have tore the house down, and just that feud would have been really solid. But of course, circumstances just kind of interfered along the way. So that being said, I think that Finn Balor is going to get some, just kind of be reinvigorated, and he will win this match, and hopefully until whatever happens with NXT UK, if it eventually returns, or if they need another contender for the NXT World Championship, or maybe even the North American title, they'll have a good figure in Finn, because he's a popular name. He's very cool. I do want them to bring back the Demon at some point. I've been begging for that for the longest time. I wish they would stop playing, just bring it back. But that's for another topic for another day. So with that said, we'll get to the next match. We're going to see Tommaso Ciampa, a popular NXT mainstay, taking on the new talent of Karrion Kross, formerly Killer Kross, with Scarlett Bordeaux in his corner. Who would like to start off on this bout? EJV, take it over. No pun intended.
Great job on the pun, Steve. I'll give you credit on that one. To me, I think personally, this is my sleeper match. This is a match that you think is not going to be a bar burner, no matter how long or short it is. But to me, that's the way it's going to. To me, it is going to be a bar burner. You got two of the most physical guys on the entire roster. You got Karrion Kross, who is absolutely just a walk. No offense to Josh Alexander from Impact Wrestling, he is a walking weapon in his own right. He is dangerous with any move he hits, especially that Doomsday Saito, which is, even taking out a 300-pound man like Bronson Reed, which we saw this past week on NXT. And of course, Ciampa, we know about his history and how violent and how brutal he can get in the ring when he's got that darkness in his black heart. No pun intended there. To me, I think it's gonna be an absolute physical match. I think I know Nico's gonna specify this too. It should be short, because if you're gonna build Killer Kross like the way you've been building him, you want this match to be short, concise, and brutal. And I think that's gonna be the formula if they're gonna build Karrion Kross, right. So I'm gonna go with Karrion Kross to walk out with the victory on this one over Tommaso Ciampa.
All right, who would like to take this one next?
You want to go? I can go. It doesn't matter.
You go ahead, man. You go ahead.
All right. Yeah, like as Ezra was saying, Karrion Kross. I was about to call him Killer Kross. I still call him Killer Kross. Who's legit one of the nicest guys ever. But Karrion Kross not only should get this win, but he should get this win decisively within 5 minutes or less. I know WWE probably won't do that, but I think they should. Here's the reason why you do this. You need to build him up as a monster, and yeah, I know he's gone against like NXT enhancement talent the first couple weeks that he's been on TV, but if you're gonna give Karrion the win over a big name like Tommaso Ciampa, why not just let him just destroy Ciampa that way everybody's like, whoa, holy shit, who the fuck is this guy? You know, he just beat arguably the biggest star on the NXT brand in 5 minutes or less. That's why I think it needs to be hard hitting. Maybe Tommaso gets like one big move in and sets it up for the fairy tale ending, but then Karrion counters it, and then hits him with a big move, and then hits him with the Doomsday move that he does there, and you just call it a day. Basically, it should be a 5-minute squash match. It really should be. I hope WWE goes that route. I won't be surprised if they don't, and they do make it a competitive match, which is fine. But it does need to be. I feel like it needs to be a squash match, regardless if it's a squash match or not. I think Karrion Kross gets the W.
Okay, wild card, take it away, my friend.
Wow. All right. So, anyway, Karrion Kross, boy. I mean, I every time I hear that name now, I think about that sick ass entrance that he has on NXT, man. So I mean, he is a big time player, and I wouldn't be surprised if he could be a contender for the NXT title or even the NXT North American title at some point. But anyway, in terms of who I think will win this match, it's going to be a toss-up for me. I will say that it is probably going to be one of the more violent matches, potentially one of the more violent matches on the show, on the card, just because of how hard-hitting both these guys are. And you also have to take in consideration the antics of the lovely Scarlett Bordeaux. I mean, you got to consider her in the match and what she could potentially do to put herself in the match as well and get her man the win. So, if I had to say, though, to pick a winner, I'm going to say Karrion Kross because I feel like that he's got a lot of momentum on his side and that beating somebody like Tommaso Ciampa is going to give him some credibility to be a big-time player in NXT.
Very nice. Yeah, I'm gonna just agree with you all, and of course, Karrion Kross will win. That being said, I'm not sure if it's gonna be a competitive match or if it will be somewhat of a squash. I can't see it being a full-on squash because it's Tommaso Ciampa and he's been a big name in NXT, and for a long time he was their top heel. So it would be kind of weird to see him just flat out get squashed, but I would be all for them, like, trying to push Karrion to the moon. His entrance is amazing. Scarlett's a great ballet to help him out. I don't know which direction they're going to go with, but I mean, clear-cut winner will be Karrion. Just now, the question is, like, just what type of match they'll have. I'm going to lean, if I were to guess, I think they're going to have a competitive match. It should be a great match, hard-hitting. Maybe the shortest match on the card, but it will still be something pretty sick. And maybe even kind of like Andy mentioned, Wildcard mentioned, it's going to be essentially just, I think that maybe Scarlett will get involved. Maybe Masa Ciampa will actually show that he's going to get some competitive edge, but Scarlett's going to do something and then just kind of ruin it for Ciampa to kind of get the victory. So that being said, Karrion Kross wins and just keeps building himself up in the NXT ranks. Now we're on to the next match. It's for the North American Championship. Champion Keith Lee will be taking on Johnny Gargano, most likely with Candice LeRae in his corner. So who would like to go for this match first?
I'll go.
All right, Nico.
I see. This is one where I'm not sure. Mainly because I think Keith Lee should probably be the one to take the NXT World Title off of Adam Cole. I'll talk more about the NXT World Title later. But I think if he were to do that, I think he would need to drop the North American titles. I guess they're going to treat the North American title as like the springboard title, like the WWE Intercontinental title used to be for wrestlers back in the day. If you were the Intercontinental Champion, then you were more than likely going to be going after the world title in the very near future. We saw them do that with Ultimate Warrior, Bret the Hitman Hart, and Shawn Michaels. The list goes on and on. Austin, Rock, Triple H. I could keep going, but you get the idea. So maybe NXT goes that route. But if Johnny gets the title, I don't know. Like, I kind of like Johnny as a heel. Even though I kind of felt like Johnny was being heel when he was babyface, when he's with that whole NXT for life gimmick that he was doing for a short while, and he was speaking negatively about the main roster, which honestly I think is bullshit. And it's not that I don't like NXT or that I don't like Johnny Gargano. I love NXT. I love Johnny Gargano. But I didn't like his mindset in regards to that, about being NXT for life. When, yes, if you're a great professional wrestler, okay, cool. But you want to be the best professional wrestler and make the most money you possibly can. If you're not doing that, then why are you in this business? But that's just my take on it. But in regards to the match, I don't know. I mean, maybe it ends in a no contest. I'll go with a no contest finish because I just don't know what they're gonna do, and it would feel weird to me. I would be okay like if Keith Lee won, because then you're like, okay, that furthers his stock of going after Adam Cole and the NXT title, or but then he still has the North American titles, and then we still got to worry about that. And like, from the mid card perspective, since the North American title basically is the mid card title, like, I don't see anybody other than I don't really see other contenders for that belt for Keith Lee, because I mean, yeah, you got Dominic Dijakovic, he's fought a couple of times, but he may be going to Raw. You got Damian Priest, but he's doing this thing with Finn Balor, so I just don't know. And then if Johnny gets it, it's like, okay, you're the North American champion again. Okay, but then you're still in the same position. Who does Johnny work with next? Does he do another match with Keith Lee? Do they still keep the program going? Do they add Candice LeRae and Mia Yim? Okay, maybe. I mean, they're kind of teasing that a little bit, but I don't know. It just feels weird.
All right, who'd like to take this one?
I'll take it from here.
Go for a wild card.
All right. So I'm actually intrigued by this match here, just because you have two top guys in the NXT roster here too. I mean, because we all know how good Keith Lee is. We all know how good Johnny Gargano is, who, by the way, I consider NXT's version of the Big Show, because every time they turn him face, they turn him heel, they turn him face. I mean, it's like one of those things where it's like, okay, what are they gonna do with him? It's basically like Big Show again. But anyway, I do think it's going to be a really good match for the most part, and I feel like that this could be one of those low under the radar matches that could potentially steal the show, considering the talent between these two. If I have to say Keith Lee on this, because I feel like they could continue on with this couple storyline between Keith Lee, Mia Yim, and Johnny and Candice, especially with those segments that they did in NXT. And also just in response to what Nico may have mentioned about Keith Lee possibly being a potential contender for or challenging Adam Cole for the NXT title. I can see a potential scenario where he is still the North American champion, and they may have a scenario where they could have a title for title match. So that's just something to think about there.
That's an interesting scenario.
Yeah.
EJV, go ahead.
Yeah, this is a match that is it's fireworks, man. It's gonna be good. Come on, you got Keith Lee, who we know how freakish of an athlete this guy is, and we know how good he is in the ring. And you got Johnny, who turned heel against Ciampa. Now he's got this North American title shot. Like Nico said, the question is, do they pull the trigger on this? I don't know. That's something that's it's a little bit of a gray area right now. And I just don't know what their plan is for Keith Lee and the North American title at this point, because like Nico said, it doesn't seem like there's, I won't say credible, it just doesn't seem like there are no challenges that are, like, I wouldn't say worthy either, but that are just on that upper echelon that could elevate this title even more than what it already is. So to me, I'm just gonna go with standard on this one and just go with Keith Lee retaining this belt. To me, like you said, I'm pretty sure they're pushing Keith Lee to the NXT North American title, like Nico said as well. So I feel like they're gonna have him keep the belt for now until it's time to pull the trigger with him beating Adam Cole, if that's what WWE is gonna go for. So Keith Lee for the win.
Yeah. Hey, can you guys hear me?
Yes.
Okay. Let me rephrase. It's not that nobody is credible in challenging Keith Lee for the NXT North American title, but there's nobody in their roster right now that I would say want to see fight Keith Lee. Like, I don't even really want to see this match between him and Johnny one-on-one. I'm more interested in Keith Lee, Mia Yim against Johnny and Candice. I'm not interested in seeing Keith Lee versus Johnny one-on-one. I mean, granted, it'll be a good match. I'm not taking anything away from those guys. But there's nothing that makes me say, oh my God, it's Johnny Gargano versus Keith Lee one-on-one. I'm more interested in the story with Mia Yim and Candice LeRae being involved in it, because of the segments that they've been doing have been pretty good and entertaining as hell. But, like, I mean, the match is going to be fine, but like my point earlier was that I just don't see anyone that's credible that would end up taking the title off of Keith Lee, and you're just like, okay, that makes sense to me. Because when Keith Lee does drop the belt, you got to do it in a way to where you're like, okay, yeah, this makes sense for this person to get the rub and get the NXT North American title, while you're also still elevating Keith Lee towards the main title, which is the NXT Championship. Maybe they go the route that Andy suggested, where they do title versus title. I don't see that happening, but I would buy it if they go that route, but we'll have to wait and see.
Yeah. You guys all made some plausible scenarios for what could be done. I'm kind of going back and forth myself, but I'm leaning towards Johnny Gargano to win it, purely for the reason that he is Mr. NXT, if you will. It is kind of weird for me to see him as a heel, because I kind of consider him like, I don't know, the best way to describe it, maybe a Ricky Steamboat, Tito Santana, or Rey Mysterio in WWE, where he's always the face. That's always how Gargano came off to me. I mean, I know his heel, it's working fine, but it's still a little weird for me to kind of just put it. But yeah, I don't know. So getting onto the topic, I'm fine with either man winning. I do like the idea of Keith being the North American Championship and having a really long reign, kind of like a classic IC title reign. However, I think that they're going to move on to bigger things with Keith Lee. He's definitely a future star. He almost beat Roman Reigns at the Survivor Series to close out the show, but that didn't quite happen. So some shenanigans are going to happen. Candice is probably going to cause some interference, or Gargano's going to pull something, and I think he will win his second North American Championship from Keith Lee, and then they're going to build him up to be a contender at a future NXT Takeover show to take on, I'll get to that prediction later on the show. But that being said, we are on to our second.
I hate the idea of Johnny Gargano being called Mr. NXT. Sorry to cut you off there, Steve-O. I just hate that. To me, it's just stupid, but I digress. Okay.
Yeah. I mean, I'm in agreement with you. Really quick, just that, I don't know. I don't see why Ciampa. I mean, I understand Ciampa and Gargano kind of want their creative freedoms in NXT, and as we've seen, some people go to the main roster and their careers gone to hell. But again, another topic for another day. But I do see where you're coming from there, Nico. But yeah, we're getting on, and yeah, speaking of main roster, we have the NXT Women's Championship match. Miss Charlotte Flair, the current champion of NXT and appearing on almost every brand of WWE today, will be taking on Rhea Ripley as well as Io Shirai. Who's going to want to start this topic off? EJB?
Sure. Sorry, I had to get my mic on, guys. Technology sucks, but I digress. For me, this match right here, I think is going to be, to me, best match of the year so far for the women. You got three of the top elite women's wrestlers in this match. You got Charlotte Flair, who is probably the best wrestler on the roster. And you got Io Shirai, who can just do about anything, and she can, and of course she's best high flyer probably there in NXT. And then of course Rhea Ripley, one of the baddest women on that roster. And I'm a huge fan of Rhea Ripley myself because of the kind of the heavy metal aspect, which is for another show. But to me, this is going to be a bar burner of a match. These women are I know they're going to take it to that next level and elevate this match and this show to be remembered for a long time. And you have the three best women to do that. To me, it's a tough kind of. To me, it's tough. I mean, the obvious decision is Charlotte, and I'm going to go with Charlotte because while I think this would be great, this would be a great match for either one of those women to win the belt. I think for Charlotte, I think they're going to have her have a long reign as NXT Women's Champion. I don't think, personally, it's this time to take the belt off her yet. I mean, she just won into WrestleMania. It's only, her second defense? And I just don't see her dropping that belt anytime soon. So I'm going to go with the Queen for a hard-fought, but yet great win and a dominant reign.
All right, who would like to go next on this one? All right, wild card.
I guess I'll take it from here. Yeah, another potential barn burner match on the card. But then again, NXT is known for having every single match to be a potential barn burner to begin with. So it's really hard to say. Who may actually win this, because I could see potential scenarios for all three. But E makes a good point there with Charlotte just recently winning the NXT title. And the fact that the company is really high on her too, and for good reason, because she's one of the best female talent on the roster right now. Not to discredit Rhea Ripley or Io Shirai, but Charlotte, is on another level. I mean, she's a Flair after all. She's got the athleticism, the talent, and just the look, the personality. Not Rhea Ripley also has that too. Io Shirai also has that. So, I mean, either way, this is going to be a really good match to watch. But as much as I think that Charlotte Flair is most likely going to win. I am just going to say they're going to throw a curveball at us here, and why not give the belt to Io Shirai on this? I think maybe it wouldn't be bad to see her have her moment in the sun, because usually with every NXT Takeover show, there's always at least one shock factor, whether it's in a match. It could be potentially this match. So who knows? It could very well be Io Shirai's moment.
All right, Nico, go for it, man.
Okay, here's who should win. 1,000%. Charlotte Flair should retain. Here's the reason why. You know how they talk about building somebody up? Remember how I mentioned earlier that the other women's match earlier in the show may have some implications to this? Right now, everybody's like, oh my god, I hate that Charlotte Flair is the NXT Women's Champion. Everybody and their grandmothers hating it. But yet you got people who know the business and know the industry, who do podcasts like we do, or do wrestling shows like we do. Prime example, Busted Open Radio. Dave LaGreca, Bully Ray, Mark Henry. They all say that Charlotte Flair is arguably the best all-around performer in the WWE. So what I would do if I had the book, have Charlotte win because Rhea's not getting the belt back because she just dropped it to Charlotte 2 months ago clean. Okay, so there's no point of Rhea getting it back. As much as I love Rhea Ripley, and I still think Rhea Ripley is going to be the biggest star of the company's future for their women's division, she doesn't need the belt back right now. So, like, okay. Io Shirai has been in NXT for over 3 years. While I think it would be super cool for about 3 years. I think she came right before, right during the second Million Classic, which culminated to her losing to Toni Storm, if I remember correctly. Io Shirai, while she is freaking phenomenal, and I love Io Shirai, I think her getting the title now, yeah, it would be cool, but I want to talk again about building somebody up. And what I mean by that is, I know I'm kind of going all over the place, but have Charlotte win this match. Have her be a tyrant. I know they're trying to make Charlotte seem like a babyface or maybe a tweener while she's in NXT, but have her be a tyrant. But then give me somebody like Tegan Nox, who's got a great story, who everybody loves. And yeah, Tegan Nox just came back from a major injury. Watch her Chronicles episode or her WWE 24 that they put on the network about a couple months ago. She would be somebody that I would want to see dethrone Charlotte, where you see Charlotte run through everybody and she still work Raw, she still work SmackDown, because Charlotte is that workhorse of their women's division, if not their entire roster. But then you have somebody who's like an up and coming, the bright baby face that everybody loves, and Tegan Nox dethrone her. Maybe it doesn't happen at NXT Takeover during SummerSlam weekend. Maybe it happens further down the line, but that's what I would do. So in relation to this triple threat match, which I think is going to be the match of the night, I say Charlotte retains. I'm cool if they decide to go, hey, let's finally put the belt on Io. It's been about 3 years since she's been here in the WWE. Let's give her the title. Granted, they had her lose to Shayna Baszler X amount of times, but I digress. But if they go that route with Io finally getting the belt, okay, cool. But I think if I had the book, I say Charlotte retains, because then you give it to some, and then maybe ever drop the belt to someone like a Tegan Nox. Maybe I'm booking too far ahead in my little brain here, but that's what I would do.
Fair enough. Yeah, great points all around, guys. My take, I'm gonna try to not be too long with it, but I do want to get into some details. So starting off, big Charlotte Flair fan. Definitely a workhorse of the company, arguably the best woman on the WWE roster today, maybe in all of wrestling today. That being said, I am tired of her being on 3 brands. I think that's overkill for anybody. for anybody that could be overkill. Well, maybe except AJ Styles, but I digress. So what I'm gonna say here is that and we talked about this at our C2E2 panel actually. Like I said that there's always the thing of NXT being considered an equal brand, and I back then said no, it is not an equal brand. But being said, they did give Charlotte the chance to try to like bring some ratings over to NXT, maybe get some more eyes viewed on there. I'm going to talk about this more in a future topic, but unfortunately, it doesn't appear that she's really affected the ratings whatsoever. It's not a knock against her, but it just is the circumstances. And she's also appearing on Raw. She had a match with Asuka. She's been on SmackDown. So I think they're going to kind of condense her appearances. So we're going to see a feud between her and Asuka on Raw. I think either going into SummerSlam or something like that. I'm not going to speculate too far down the line, but I do see that being a big feud for the Raw Women's Championship down the line. And with that said, I'd be cool with any three of these women winning. I think that overall, I lean towards wanting a new champion. It'd be nice if it'd be nice if Io can get her spotlight in the sun, finally get the NXT Women's Championship, as she has not been champion yet. But at the same time, Rhea's a big star. She had her WrestleMania moment, kind of getting some more eyes on NXT, what they've been trying to do. I'm torn. So for who I want to win, I would say either Rhea Ripley or Io Shirai, just so Charlotte can go back to the main roster and do her thing. But overall, if I'm going to flip a coin, I'm just going to go with Rhea Ripley to win her second NXT championship and feud with any of the women in the opening bout, or, well, the 3-on-3 match that we discussed as the first match of the night. But now that being said, we're going to be going into what might be the main event of the show. It's going to be the NXT Championship. Adam Cole, the champion, defending against the Velveteen Dream. I believe it's in a parking lot setting, isn't that correct?
It's like a backstage lot, I think is what they called it.
Okay, yeah.
Or something like that. I'll go first, but quick side note, the match between Charlotte Flair and Asuka on Monday was an amazing match. I know how they had to interrupt it with Nia Jax to kind of promote her match with Asuka a little more at Backlash. We'll talk Backlash next week with the show, but Charlotte Flair and Asuka, I can watch those two wrestle all day, every day. I mean, they never have a bad match, in my opinion. But moving on to the NXT World Title match, the backstage lot, whatever the heck they're calling it, between Velveteen Dream and Adam Cole. While I like Velveteen Dream because he gives me the Prince vibe, granted, I didn't like that the way they used a Prince type of not like a vignette, but like a mirage in the mirror on NXT this past week, yesterday, because today's Thursday while we're recording this. While I didn't like how they did that, I've always been a fan of Velveteen Dream, but I just don't see him being the guy to dethrone Adam Cole. He's had opportunities at the world title already. Granted, he lost a couple because of interference by the Undisputed Era. He lost clean to Tommaso Ciampa back when Tommaso was champion. But there's nothing to me that says, oh my God, Velveteen Dream is the guy to dethrone Adam Cole after a year plus reign. I mean, that's not a knock on Velveteen Dream. Again, I'm a fan of his. He's got some personal stuff that he needs to take care of, in my opinion. I won't get into that in regards to all that stuff. But to me, he's not the guy. If we're gonna have somebody who dethrones Adam Cole, my opinion, it should be Keith Lee. I kind of talked about it a little bit earlier in the show. They already got the groundwork with Keith Lee, basically trucking Adam Cole into the third or fourth role of NXT a few months ago. So I thought, maybe Keith Lee's the guy to dethrone Adam Cole in the future. If they don't go that route, maybe they have Finn Balor do it, because Finn was supposed to go after the NXT UK title. That unfortunately isn't happening. So maybe they have Finn fight Adam Cole for the NXT World Title at SummerSlam weekend or whatever, and then Adam drops the title there. But I just don't see him dropping it to Velveteen Dream. Yes, I know he's had the title for over a year, but to me, Velveteen Dream, while I'm a fan of his, and his promos are great, and the character and the persona of the Dream is great, I just don't see him as the guy, especially when this is like his third or fourth try at the title. Maybe some shenanigans happen because this is the backstage stage lot brawl or whatever the hell they're calling this match, with the remaining members of Undisputed Era getting involved. The Loomis guy, what's his name? Dexter Loomis. Maybe he gets involved. I don't know, but I see Adam Cole retaining regardless.
All right, EJV, would you like to take this one next?
Yeah. This right here is a match, probably the match I'm most excited for outside of Karrion Kross and Tommaso Ciampa, mainly because I'm a Karrion Kross fan for years. But that's beside the point. The point is, you got two bona fide future mega stars for the quote unquote main roster, being Velveteen Dream and Adam Cole, baby. And this, with this being a backstage lot brawl, aka basically, I'm just gonna call it parking lot brawl. Alec Gold does Roddy Piper. Basically it's what it is. This match, I'm not sure if it's gonna be your prototypical wrestling match, kind of similar to like the cinematic matches that we've had, Boneyard match, the Firefly Funhouse, Stadium Stampede, even from AEW. I don't think it's gonna be your prototypical wrestling match, but it's gonna be a match nonetheless. I don't see Velveteen Dream winning the title off Adam Cole. Couple reasons. Number one, they're rolling with Adam Cole right now, and there's no point in taking it off him right now. I think he's just so white hot right now in the business, with him being the best heel, probably not only WWE but one of the best heels on the roster. Period. I don't think, and after the build-up they had with the discussions with William Regal about this matchup and how he got his negotiations for this match, I thought was absolutely incredible. I thought that was really awesome. Added a nice little touch to the overall story. But to me, also with Velveteen Dream's personal stuff going on, which I'm not going to get into too much because I don't want to dabble into it too far. But I just feel like they're not going to, I don't say set him up to fail, but I'm just going to say they're not going to pull the other matches. They're not going to pull the trigger on him yet. So I'm going to go with Adam Cole to keep going with his long and lengthy reign as NXT champion.
Right. Wild card, your thoughts, my friend?
Well, I'm going to sound like a broken record here, but this is probably going to be another barn burner of a match, much like the rest of the card. But this could be the barn burner of all barn burners, considering that you have Adam Cole, Bay, and Velveteen Dream, who is, prior to the personal history or the personal issues that, we just mentioned earlier, he was pretty hot, going forward. I think they were really pushing him to be the top guy in NXT. And, I think if it wasn't for all of that, all the other stuff behind the scenes, it could potentially have been a moment where he could have taken the belt from Adam Cole. But you got to look at things on the other side, where Adam Cole is at right now. The guy is a machine right now. He's probably one of the best talents to ever come through NXT or just through wrestling in general, because I don't think I've ever seen, from my standpoint, a guy who's taken so many hard hits and put on so many good quality matches, just like Adam Cole has, and just keep chucking forward. I'm still remembering his the spot that he took back at Survivor Series weekend during NXT Takeover. I mean, that spot he did with Tommaso Ciampa off the cage, that was crazy. And then not only that, and he would, I believe he would even wrestle the following night too at Survivor Series. So that's even crazier considering that he went through hell during Takeover. So that's how.
Don't forget, Andy. One more thing. Sorry to interrupt, but don't also forget the match that made Adam Cole, the hybrid fighting rules match from Ring of Honor against Kyle O'Reilly, where he got his lip literally split to shreds. And he still kept firing strikes.
See that, and that's the thing. That's the tenacity of Adam Cole. The guy has like a bulldog-like mentality there too. I mean, he could take like the sickest bumps from like all areas of the ring. He could fall off a building and probably still wrestle the next day too. I mean, that's just Adam Cole for you right there. So I mean, this guy is probably one of the greatest NXT champions to ever grace NXT. So I mean, that may be strong to say, but I mean, he's proven that, he's earned that. I'm saying Adam Cole takes this and he's going to continue his domination in NXT.
Plus, Adam Cole's girlfriend is Baby.
Baby.
Well,
DMD.
It's funny you mentioned that, Nico, because there's been like some reports like teasing, he may be leaving WWE after this year because of, he was seen at a party with his girlfriend who's in AEW, so he may be going to AEW. But I call BS on that.
We don't count Adam Cole's ghost as actual Adam Cole there. Yeah.
Okay, fair enough.
You know what? I think the reason why Adam and Britt are both doing that, not only because obviously they're dating in real life, but because I think maybe Adam could be using that as leverage. I mean, if he goes to AEW, we all know Adam's gonna kill it because Adam Cole is Adam Cole Baby. I know we're going a little off topic here, but if he goes to AEW, okay, cool. He's going to be with, his friends. He's going to be with the Young Bucks. He's going to be with Cody. He's going to be with Kenny Omega. It's going to be fine. You don't believe me? Watch old episodes of Adam Cole being on Being the Elite. I still, in my perfect little head, want to do a thing where all four of us are singing Call Me Maybe like Adam Cole, the Young Bucks, and Kenny Omega did. Come on, it'd be fun. It'd be great. Where they did karaoke. So yeah.
I'm down.
See, Steve's in. Andy, what about you? Come on, let's all do karaoke together.
Sure, why not? I'm in.
All right, we got three. All right, Ezra, the both have it. You got to do karaoke with us. Okay, but I'm getting off topic. But if Adam Cole goes to AEW when his contract is up, he will be fine because Adam Cole is Adam Cole. But I think WWE is going to be like, no, we got to pay this guy the money. I think Adam Cole basically has WWE over a barrel right now, where they'll give him X amount of dollars to stay. And if Adam wants to take the money and just be like, hey, AEW is going to be fine. I'm going to be fine. My girl's going to be fine doing her thing. It'll work out because even if Adam does go, when Adam goes to Raw or SmackDown, Adam Cole will be fine. He can be the leader of the Undisputed Era, and they can be the dominant faction that they've been for the past couple years. Or Adam Cole can just go on his own on Raw or SmackDown, and he will be fine. To everyone who's like, oh, they'll kill him on the main roster just like every other NXT talent. No, I guarantee you, Adam Cole will be fine. What is that? What are you doing? Ezra, what the hell are you doing?
I was doing my Titus O'Neil impression.
Okay, Wolf. Oh, God. I'm surrounded with these three. Anyway.
No, it's like, oh.
Yeah, it's like a seal dying, gasping for breath. But I digress. Yeah, so, I mean, Adam Cole will be fine no matter what he does. I don't see him leaving WWE. I think he basically has them in a position where they're like, we can't let this guy walk.
And that's pretty much what I'm kind of getting at. I'm gonna kind of go over that. In the future, like when it comes time. Oh yeah, WWE is gonna fight their asses off to keep this guy. I could just echo what you guys are saying. In short, yeah, he is one of the best of all time in NXT. Easily, he's bound for big things when he eventually gets to the main roster. I don't know really too much else what I could say in that regards. But now that being said, we got to get to the match itself. Velveteen Dream is a great talent. I did think at one time he would be the one to take the title off of Adam Cole, baby. And he's very talented, very charismatic, has a great look to him. But unfortunately, reality is hit. We're not going to get into what those issues are. You can easily look them up online if you really want to know. But anyways, reality is hit. I'm surprised he even is having a takeover match because of that. And he did a match it was on NXT a couple weeks back, and he lost the match. So in short, I think that the winner is going to be Adam Cole due to the circumstances. And because of that, with Keith Lee, my prediction of him losing earlier on the show, I think that he's going to be the one to eventually take the title off of Adam Cole. We've all made our predictions. Let's kind of do our overall. Our overall excitement level from 1 to 10. 1 being least excited, 10 being, most excited. Who would like to start that off?
I'll go. I'll give this about a 7. I mean, any NXT takeover, I can't remember a bad NXT takeover overall. Obviously, there are matches that I generally don't care for. To me, if the matches that I do care for deliver, like the 2 that I want the most, or that I'm excited for the most, would be the triple threat women's match for the NXT women's title. I think that's going to be the overall show stealer. I'm excited for whatever they decide to do with Karrion Kross, and Tommaso Ciampa. That'll be excellent. Whatever they do with Adam and Velveteen, as much as I don't like the match taking place, because didn't Velveteen lose clean technically a few weeks ago to Adam? I mean, yeah, there was shenanigans with the Undisputed Era and with the Dexter Loomis, but okay, whatever. He technically still did lose clean, but fine, he's eating another title shot. Whatever. So I mean, I'm pretty sure they're gonna do some cool creative stuff since they backstage a lot brawl. But yeah, as long as the matches that I'm anticipating or that I'm looking forward to the most deliver, takeover will be fine. But anticipate excitement wise, I say about a 7.
All right, I'll take this one here. You can never go wrong with any NXT TakeOver pay-per-view. But in terms of the excitement level, for me personally, I'm just going to say 6.5 for this. Just because, the card is stacked after all. But, if I, take a step back and actually look at it, I mean, there's just, there's not really anything that really, completely wows me about the overall thing, except for the fact that, they're going with a throwback of In Your House, and I thought that was pretty cool. But it's going to be no different from any other TakeOver show. But again, there's nothing wrong with that whatsoever. It's just for me personally. I just haven't really been fully invested into NXT as of late, just due to personal reasons. But the card is really good, and I'm pretty confident that they're going to put on a good show. But excitement level, 6.5.
EJB, your thoughts, friend?
For me, I'm gonna give this one. I'm gonna go with this. I'm gonna give it a 7.5. The reason being is because a lot of these matches I do have some emotional investment. I am excited for, but like Andy said, if you take a step back and you take a look, this card may not. I won't say it won't be the strongest. I mean, there is some strong matches on here, but to me, a lot of them are severely predictable. And that's the thing we miss about wrestling a lot of days, especially nowadays, is the unpredictability, and that's something it's kind of a lost art now. But to me, this card overall is strong. It's got some great matches. Karrion Kross, Tommaso Ciampa, I think it's gonna be a sleeper match. To me, I think the women's match is gonna steal the show, like Nico said, no doubt. And then of course you can't go wrong with Velveteen and Adam Cole together. I mean, them two together, it's an amazing combination because you got Velveteen swagger and a style with Adam Cole, who is absolutely one of the best heels in the game. So to me, overall, I'm looking at a 7.5 for this event.
All right, yeah, I'm going with a straight 7 myself. I was considering giving it an 8 just because takeovers are always very good. I've yet to see like a bad takeover event so far. But yeah, the card, I mean, yeah, I don't think it will be one of the greatest takeovers of all time with the card that is provided. But that being said, there's still going to be some solid matches. I think it's cool to bring back the In Your House branding for this particular show, especially with most people being in their home and just it being a pretty fun little pay-per-view back in the day. But in short, I'm expecting a very solid show. We'll see how it ranks against other takeovers this coming weekend. But overall, I think we're looking into a pretty solid show. So that being said, that's all for the takeover predictions. Be sure to also be on the lookout for episode 7 of Too Sweet Converse. So you're getting double content this weekend for the fun. Be sure to subscribe to our YouTube channel. If you like this video, please give it a like as well. And also share your predictions.
Yeah, hey, real quick, did anybody catch on Twitter today, while we're filming this, today's Thursday, June 4th, did anybody catch when they posted like an NXT takeover style, like old In Your House vignette with the Raw is War Warzone music? It was a video on Twitter I saw. I thought it was great.
Okay. I certainly didn't. I definitely need to look into that.
Yeah, it was. I saw it on Twitter. And then the fact that they got like the NXT In Your House style shirts. I'll definitely be buying one of those. Hopefully they go on clearance soon. It's another Black Wrestling T-shirt. My mom's gonna kill me, but like it's just nice just because it says In Your House and it's very old school. You've been a wrestling fan as long as all of us have. We all remember the In Your House pay-per-views. I mean, correct me if I'm wrong, but Ezra, wasn't your favorite moment with Undertaker sticking his hand out the grave In Your House pay-per-view?
Yeah. The very first WWE pay-per-view I ever watched was In Your House Buried Alive, 1996. Undertaker sticking his hand out of the ground with Vince on the call saying the Undertaker lives and he will not rest in peace.
Right.
Very nice.
Go ahead. I mean, I was going to talk about the Canadian Stampede In Your House. Okay. So, real quick, though, that was one of the loudest pops I've ever heard in my entire life. But okay, that's all I wanted to say.
Okay, fair enough. But yeah, make sure to also follow us on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter at Too Sweet Cosplay. So thank you all for watching. Please share your predictions as well as your thoughts on this video. Take care, guys. Too sweet, y'all.
See ya.